The millionaire's laughter echoed through the grand ballroom as the exhausted cleaner stood frozen beside a white violin. He had just mocked her in front of dozens of wealthy guests, telling her that if she could play even one beautiful note, he would change her life. Everyone expected her to walk away in humiliation. Instead, she slowly picked up the violin, and when the first note filled the room, the millionaire's smile disappeared. Before we continue, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and never judging someone by their clothes or job, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave a comment, and subscribe to Echoes of Kindness. Your support helps us bring more stories like this to life. Her name was Elena, a quiet woman in her early 30s who worked as a cleaner at the luxurious hotel where the party was being held. Every night, she polished marble floors, cleaned expensive suites, and quietly disappeared before the wealthy guests ever noticed her. She lived in a tiny apartment with her 8-year-old daughter, Sophia, and every paycheck was carefully divided between rent, food, medicine, and Sophia's school expenses. Elena had once dreamed of becoming a professional violinist, but life had taken that dream away. When her husband died unexpectedly, she had been left alone with a small child and bills she could barely understand. The violin she once treasured had been sold to pay for Sophia's emergency surgery. She never told anyone about it. To the world, she was simply a cleaner. That evening, the hotel hosted a celebration for Adrian Vale, a self-made millionaire whose companies had made him one of the most powerful businessmen in the city. He arrived wearing an expensive black suit, surrounded by investors and admirers. A live orchestra had been scheduled to perform, but one of the musicians suddenly became ill. The guests began whispering as the organizers desperately searched for a replacement. Near the ballroom entrance stood an old white violin displayed as decoration, a sentimental gift Adrian's late mother had once given him. Elena was cleaning nearby when she accidentally stopped and stared at it. Her fingers trembled. For a moment, the noise of the ballroom disappeared, and she remembered her mother teaching her how to hold a bow when she was only 6 years old. Adrian noticed her staring and laughed. He assumed she was fascinated by something far beyond her world. When someone jokingly mentioned that the cleaner seemed interested in the violin, Adrian decided to entertain his guests. He told Elena that perhaps she should play it if she thought she was good enough. The room filled with laughter. Elena lowered her eyes, embarrassed, but Adrian continued, saying that if she could actually play something beautiful, he would change her life. It sounded like a cruel joke, and everyone knew it. Yet Elena looked at the violin again. She thought about Sophia studying late at night beneath a weak lamp. She thought about the medical bills still waiting on her kitchen table. Then she reached for the instrument. The moment Elena placed the violin beneath her chin, the ballroom became strangely quiet. Her hands were rough from years of cleaning, but they moved with astonishing confidence. She drew the bow across the strings, and a haunting melody rose through the room. It was not a simple tune. It was the melody Adrian's mother used to play when he was a frightened little boy after his father left the family. Adrian's face changed instantly. He stopped smiling. His glass lowered slowly from his hand as memories he had buried for years came rushing back. Elena continued playing, pouring every sacrifice, every lonely night, and every broken dream into the music. Some guests began wiping tears from their eyes. Even the musicians stood silently, watching her. When the final note faded, nobody applauded immediately. The silence itself felt like applause. Then the entire ballroom erupted. Adrian walked toward Elena, but this time there was no arrogance in his expression. He asked where she had learned to play, and Elena quietly explained that she had once studied music but abandoned everything after losing her husband. Adrian then revealed something nobody expected. The melody she had played was his mother's favorite composition, one she had written herself but never recorded. He had spent years searching for someone who could remember how it sounded. Adrian realized that Elena had not stolen his mother's memory from the past, she had preserved it without even knowing how valuable it was. He asked about her daughter, and Elena admitted that Sophia dreamed of becoming a musician but they could barely afford lessons. Adrian kept his promise. He paid off Elena's debts, arranged a scholarship for Sophia, and offered Elena a position managing a new music foundation he created in his mother's name. But Elena's greatest reward was not the money. It was being seen for who she truly was. Months later, Elena stood on a concert stage wearing a simple elegant dress, while Sophia sat proudly in the front row holding her own violin. Adrian watched from the audience as Elena played the same melody that had changed everything. This time, there was no laughter, no judgment, and no millionaire looking down at a cleaner. There was only music, and a woman who had finally been given the chance to become who she had always been. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, share it, and subscribe to Echoes of Kindness. Sometimes one act of kindness can give someone the courage to begin again. And before the story ends, comment, "Kindness changes lives," if you believe everyone deserves a second chance, no matter where they come from. Because Elena's story proved something the ballroom had forgotten at night, you can clean someone's floor without ever knowing that they carry a beautiful dream inside them. Never judge a person by their uniform, their income, or their position. Sometimes the quietest person in the room is carrying the